All right, so today we're diving into a university that is, honestly, a fascinating contradiction. It's an institution that seems to have cracked a code that so many others have tried and failed to solve.
And this is the central question, right here, the one that frames this entire explainer. How on earth does an institution manage to be two completely different things at once? On one hand, you've got this world-class research engine, and on the other, an intensely personal, super tight-knit college. So let's break this paradox down.
Okay, so let's just look at the numbers for a second. On the Powerhouse side, you have the R1 classification. That's the absolute highest level of research activity a university can have, plus a historic 50-plus year partnership with NASA. But then you look at the personal touch side, a stunning 6-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio and a median class size of just 14 students. I mean, these two profiles feel like they belong to completely different universities. So how do they do it?
Well, the answer isn't some happy accident. It's a deliberate, century-long strategy that the university itself calls personalized scale. And this is the core idea we're going to unpack, the intentional engineering behind this really unique identity. It all started with the vision of its very first president.
This quote right here from Edgar Odell Lovett, this is basically the philosophical DNA of Rice University. To assign no upper limit to its educational endeavor. It's just this mission statement of boundless ambition, and it's guided the university through a history that is, trust me, way more dramatic than you might think.
Yeah, to really understand the Rice of today, we have to understand its past. And it is not a simple story. The university has pretty much had 3 different foundings, and each one was this critical moment of reinvention that allowed it to overcome a really contested legacy and become the modern powerhouse it is today.
Okay, you have to hear this timeline, because it is wild. So in 1891, it's chartered, but with these clauses limiting it to only white Texans and forbidding tuition. Then in 1900, get this, the founder, William Marsh Rice, is murdered by his own butler in a plot to steal the endowment. The only reason the university even exists is because a lawyer won this massive court battle to save the money. Okay, fast forward to 1962, JFK gives his famous "We choose to go to the moon" speech right there on campus, cementing this partnership with NASA. And that event basically forced what's called the second founding in 1964, a lawsuit to break the original charter, finally allowing Rice to charge tuition and, most importantly, to desegregate. And today, a third founding is happening, as the university publicly reckons with its founders' connections to slavery. It's just a story of constant and very necessary transformation.
So how did Rice actually solve the small feel part of its paradox? Well, the answer lies in this really unique social structure that is the absolute heart of the undergraduate experience.
It's called the residential college system. Now, the key word on this slide, the one that makes the whole thing work, is randomly. When you show up at Rice as a freshman, you are randomly sorted into one of 11 colleges. You can think of them like Hogwarts houses, but with, more science. And you're a member of that college for all 4 years, creating this powerful built-in community from day one.
This system is so core to the Rice experience that it completely replaces fraternities and sororities. There is no Greek life at Rice. Each college is like its own little mini university. It's got its own student government, its own budget, its own weird traditions. And get this, a tenured professor, called a magister, actually lives with their family right there alongside the students. The entire system is just designed to create these intense but friendly rivalries, which all come to a head in their most famous tradition, the beer bike race. And this quote from a student just sums it up perfectly. You get put into this weird little family. It's a rich tapestry of different people. You see, it's a form of deliberate social engineering that forces students from all different majors, backgrounds, and interests to form this single, cohesive identity. So that's the small college feel. Now let's pivot to the other side of the paradox, that no upper limit ambition that fuels its world-class research.
Rice's research impact is concentrated in these really nimble, high-powered institutes. The Baker Institute is one of the world's most respected policy think tanks. The Smalley Curl Institute is a global leader in nanotechnology, and it was literally born from the Nobel Prize-winning discovery of buckyballs that happened right on campus. The Rice Space Institute continues that deep legacy with NASA, and the Kennedy Institute is pushing the frontiers of AI. This is where that powerhouse reputation really comes from.
And if you need just one single data point to understand the depth of that NASA connection, here it is. 16. That's how many NASA astronauts and administrators are Rice alumni. That kind of impact is no accident. It is the result of a 60-year strategic focus.
So, we've got this unique model, a small, personal feel that's powering a massive research engine. What does that all mean for students today? Let's take a look at who gets in, how they get there, and what it costs.
So let's be clear. It is incredibly difficult to get into Rice. For the class of 2029, the acceptance rate was just 7.75%. And just look at those SAT scores. The middle 50% of students scored between a 1510 and a 1560. This puts it firmly in the ranks of the most selected universities in the entire world.
And even though it's in Houston, it is not just a Texas school. This chart shows a truly national and global draw. Nearly half the students come from out of state, and a really significant 16% are international. It's a long, long way from the school's original restrictive charter.
Now here's where it gets really interesting. For a university this elite, access is a huge priority. Rice is what's known as a loan-free institution. And that means it meets 100% of a student's demonstrated financial need without putting any loans into their aid offer. And this applies to everyone, including international students.
Their big program is called the Rice Investment, and this table just brilliantly illustrates how powerful it is. If your family income is under $75,000, you get a full ride. Tuition, fees, room and board are all covered by grants. If it's up to $140,000, you get your full tuition covered. It's really a modern, equity-based way of fulfilling its founder's original no-tuition mandate.
And what's the real-world result of all these policies? This number says it all. A staggering 82% of Rice undergraduates walk away at graduation with absolutely zero student debt. This fundamentally changes the kinds of choices they can make after they leave college. So, when you put it all together, the residential colleges, the world-class research, the hyper-selective admissions, and this radical commitment to financial aid, what do you get? You get this, a deliberately engineered culture of personalized scale. It basically weaponizes its small size to create a collaborative environment that produces an impact far, far greater than its numbers would suggest.
Which brings us right back to where we started, that founding philosophy from over a century ago. By refusing to accept a limit on its ambition, Rice built something truly unconventional. A small school that thinks big, a research powerhouse with a human touch, and a blueprint for what a 21st century university can really be. So you have to wonder, what upper limit will they challenge next?